So this is the fourth of our 6-part video series to explore the maximum suite strategy. So there's no question that we're still in a housing crisis, and changes in government policy to allow more density creates an opportunity for you to generate wealth and create the desperately needed housing. So in this video, we're going to dive into the fourth letter in the wealth formula. And this is the letter L, which stands for location. So we're going to discuss all the potential opportunities to create wealth using the max suite strategy and how to go about finding the property in the best location to do that in. So let's dive right in. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. I'm Manny from Suite Additions, where we help investors and homeowners create more housing and generate wealth. We really appreciate if you can take a second to hit the like button and please subscribe to this channel so that we can get more content out. You can also read a more detailed version of this video in our blog post at suiteadditions.com. And if you haven't already seen our previous Max Suite strategy videos, we recommend that you check them out right after this video. Links are in the description below. And additionally, we're currently putting together a comprehensive in-person training program covering in detail the principles, strategies, and tactics as part of the Max Suite strategy. We'll share more info at the end of this video, and you can also check it out at suiteadditions.com/training. Okay, so the fourth letter in the wealth formula as part of the maximum suite strategy stands for location. You know what they say about real estate. The three most important things are location, location, and you guessed it, location. That might seem like a cliche, but in our case, it actually isn't. As a matter of fact, we're going to be breaking down 3 aspects of location that will impact how successfully you can implement the max suite strategy and what you can do to get the highest return for your investment. So we're going to start by looking at the level of the city or town to determine which are the best places to invest in. Then we'll hone in on specific locations within cities that are ideal for higher density development. And then lastly, we'll zoom in even further by looking at specific property types that are suitable for the max suite strategy. So without further ado, let's dive right in. First, let's talk about selecting the right city or town to invest in. The first thing, of course, is to make sure that the local economic fundamentals of the municipality are strong. Make sure the region has strong employers, population growth, and continued public and private investment. As a general rule of thumb, we and our clients like to invest in places where the population is at least 100,000 people and growing to ensure a somewhat diversified economy. So these days, almost all places are facing fiscal challenges due to decades of financial mismanagement and following the standard growth strategy of suburban sprawl. However, there are cities that recognize the errors of the past and actively making an effort to make things better. So this generally means having a progressive city planning department and council that recognizes the financial benefits of creating more wealth through density and being friendly towards private investment into the city. Many municipalities are targets in Ontario's growth plan, and we recommend that you check out the document at ontario.ca/growth planning to learn more about which cities are more poised for growth in the coming years. Now, if you've narrowed down some cities that you wish to invest in, go onto their website and have a look through their zoning bylaw documents to determine what their policies are towards infill development and adding additional suites. Although Provincial Bill 23 is mandating 3 units as a minimum across the province, some cities are still making things a little bit difficult by creating unnecessary obstacles such as unreasonable parking requirements. Talk to other investors, realtors, and contractors about their experiences working with particular cities to get a sense of how friendly they are. In our first video in the series, we discuss what can be done to a property, which outlines zoning, parking, and unit sizes. You can check out that video in the description below to get an understanding of how favorable a city is towards densification and how that may help narrow down your city of choice. After you've selected a place, we recommend that you work within that location for a period of time because having specialized knowledge is key, and potentially build relationships with contractors, vendors, and even city staff that can be advantageous for you. Now let's dive into the second aspect of location once you've selected a city or town. This is where we get into finding ideal neighborhoods within the city. Go to the city's website and go into their planning and development section and review documents to determine where upcoming developments are happening. Also, attending some council and minor variance hearings are very beneficial. And since the pandemic, they're now available online. You can get more information about projects and see where investments are happening. Many of the past videos are available on the city's YouTube channel, and although might seem a little bit boring, they're actually a treasure trove of useful information that can give you a competitive advantage, and you'll learn a lot about the development process. Best of all, it's entirely free. By digging through publicly available information, you can find out things like where BIAs are happening, which are business improvement areas. These are areas targeted for business growth and typically involve a combination of city's investment as well as investment by the local businesses in that area. You can find out where transportation improvements are happening as well. It can be as simple as additional bus routes or sometimes a larger scale, such as an investment in regional transportation with train stations. In that case, you might want to check out if there's anything going on with metro links in your city. A big consideration also if there's any mixed-use developments happening. If you know of areas that target a good mix of residential, commercial, retail spaces, and transit, these are places that people want to be in and will be very valuable. So these places follow new urbanism principles and have all daily needs accessible in a walkable manner. Now, these days, many commercial buildings are being converted to mixed-use properties, and houses that are close to these places will definitely benefit from this growth. Last but not least, it's really hard to go wrong if there's a Starbucks opening nearby. Now, whether you like their coffee or not, Starbucks does a whole ton of market research in neighborhoods to determine a middle upper class resident profile, and you can essentially tailgate them a little bit to get into good locations within a particular city. Okay, now that you've found a great city and a great neighborhood, let's get micro and look at individual sites to figure out the best location. You need to find out if the property is large enough for multiple suites and or a garden suite or ADU. You want to make sure that the existing property is ideal for conversion to 2, 3, or even 4 units. And we cover this in detail in part 2 of this video series, where we cover conversion options for existing properties. Looking at the overall site, we want to ensure that the lot is capable of a decent sized detached unit in future, which could be a garden suite or a laneway suite. If you already have a well-constructed detached garage, that might be an excellent option to convert to a unit with the possibility of reduced bylaw requirements such as setbacks and size restrictions because it's an existing structure. We cover detached ancillary structures in detail in part 3 of this video series, as well as in another video specific to garage conversions, and you can check those out in the description below. Beyond what we've discussed in those videos, when identifying a lot, here are a few things to look out for. Number 1, wider lots for ease of access and parking, and this is also ideal for additional units as well as construction equipment. Although parking mandates have been relaxed in many places, it's still a good idea to provide them where possible, as it's still a selling feature for many people. Number 2, consider deeper lots, which are excellent for larger detached units for plenty of privacy, outdoor amenity space, and is more isolated from traffic noise. Deeper lots are also great for properties that may be on a busier street, and having a detached unit with parking deep inside is suitable for families with young kids who don't want to be facing a busy street. Also, corner lots are an excellent option for additional detached units. This is great for access and ease of construction and really makes the home feel like a separate house altogether, since it's facing its own street instead of being located behind the house. This can attract a great variety of people who want to live in these smaller units. Now, some other factors for site location include orientation to take advantage of natural lighting, privacy from surrounding properties, and ease of water management surrounding the property. There are a lot of things to consider with selecting a great location to implement the max use strategy, and you want to make sure you know what things to look for so that you have a competitive advantage. And it's likely that properties which fit these criteria will become more expensive in the coming years, so now may be your time to take advantage of this information arbitrage. Being able to select properties based on the 3 location metrics we've identified can assist in the profitability analysis of your next project. So to summarize, this includes, number 1, identifying cities and towns that are progressive and are welcoming housing densification and willing to work with investors to get the needed housing. Number 2, identifying select areas within a city that is poised for growth and is the subject of private and public investment. And finally, identifying specific properties that are ideal for max suite conversions and is an excellent long-term property for multiple families to live in. On our next video, we're going to look at the next letter as part of the wealth formula, which is the letter T. And T stands for transformation. When implementing the max suite strategy, it's not just about maximizing the total number of suites, but also transforming the property into a highly desirable place to call home for multiple families. Again, we're putting together an in-person comprehensive training program later this year on implementing the max suite strategy. So in this training, we'll be going through this entire process in detail, learn from actual case studies and past clients, and learn from other expert professionals in the space. and allow you to use your own properties for analysis and gain tactical knowledge by attending an actual job site. So if you're interested in learning everything about this program, get on the list in the description below. And again, if you haven't seen the other videos on the wealth formula, check it out in the description below. Thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. To learn more about the Max Suite strategy, download our free guides at suiteeditions.com and get started. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another great one for you.